We are on the quad family tree. Nakai, can you help? Okay. Yes, sir. No, I'm like out of everything. Sorry about that. Normally I do. You were right to come here. Sorry about that. Bye, kid. Alrighty, guys. Quad family tree. Let's start with the simplest one. Can you trace rectangle? Trace that. The basic, you learn this probably third or fourth grade. The area of a rectangle is length times what? Width. Yes, way back third or fourth grade when you started doing introduction to shape. But here's another equation. Base and height always make a right angle, and since there's a right angle there, another way we could call this would be base times height. And that's because base and height always creates a right angle. More often than not, I'm going to use this because everything on the quad. Yeah. Take a rectangle with arms like this. Rectangle. Base and height. Now. Okay. See that? Also. All right, but there is a little bit of a trick here. Our base, of course, is in the same position. Your height is always an angle, or drop it down on the outside. Your height always creates a right angle. Wherever you see an inch, there is a right angle. Now, what's also rhombus and a kite, they're related. Draw in the diagonals. What angle's in the middle for both of these? What's your right angle? Because they are related. They're related because the diagonals are perpendicular. Those two particular shapes, they have the same equation. One diagonal times, that's times, not plus, the other diagonal over 2. Diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 over 2. They have the same equation. So it's really important you understand a square qualifies as a rectangle. So the base and the height is where we get the side squared. That's because it's a rectangle. But this is a very common like SAT trick. They don't give you any of the sides. Instead, they'll give you some portion of the diagonals. You need to recognize a square also qualifies as a rhombus. So I can use this equation on a square. Because a square is a rectangle and a rhombus. So either of those you can use. Before we do a trapezoid, folks, let's look up here real quick. There we are. Gonna look up here. A triangle is how much of a parallelogram? Can you visualize this? If I take this and flip it over there, do you see you get a full parallelogram? Okay, so a triangle is half a parallelogram. A triangle is what? Say it out loud. A triangle is? Okay, so a parallelogram is base times height. A triangle is base times height over what? Now, the only trick is there's 3 different positions for your height. In an acute, it's in. Say in. In an obtuse, it's out. Say out. For a right triangle, it's on. Say on. Okay, at the top of your paper, it's important you clarify that. You have to be able to recognize all 3. I'm going to color code these. Cheyenne, could you please not chit chat right now? I'm going to distract it. Thank you. So for the obtuse triangle, the height is outside. Triangle. Put a little star here. This base, trace that again. Just physically trace it, folks. That base. Now trace the height. Think right triangle. It's the what of the right triangle? What do we call those? That's the hypo. These are the legs. So this is the equation I want you to use for right triangles. One leg times the other leg over 2. And that's because on ALEKS today, you're going to see right triangles rotated like this. And right there, that yellow part, that is not the base. Last one, trapezoid is basically 2 different triangles. So we're going to add the bases. Times the height. That's it. Go to today's lesson. Front page, we're going to zoom through these. Okay, first one, parallelogram. That one, I'm going to give you, you've got 1 minute on your own. Go, lickety split. 1 minute on your own. If I don't provide you with units, guys, you just use the generic units where you can use the variable u. Yes, sir. Does it make a right angle with the base? Okay, swing around, compare your answer with 2 of your quad mates. See if you guys get the same thing. 2 of your quad mates. All righty, guys. The next problem. All I'm going to do is give you 30 seconds to get as far as you can. Not the trick. So I don't expect you to solve it in 30 seconds. But in 30 seconds, go as far as you can completely by yourself. Next problem. Go. John Amber, what you're missing? What are you missing? Good. I'm really pleased, guys, that you said area. That means you wrote your equation two sides with an equal sign. I'm very happy about that. Okay, because you're like, wait a minute, I can't solve for this base up here unless I have some sort of area to work with. I didn't give that to you for a reason. I wanted you to recognize you need it. Ready? Let's give that. That's 5, 5, 8. I'm just giving it to you, folks. The area is 5, 5, 8. Okay, your one base is 41. Your other base is your x. Your height is 18. Now, there's one of two, I'll be there in a second. There's one of two things you can do here. All right? Either you can circle that 18 and distribute, or we're multiplying here. What's the opposite of multiplying? You can divide everything out by 18. That means the 18 cancels over here. All right? This is a whole number. Yes, you may use a calculator. Okay, this time. Solve for x, folks. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Solve for x. Solve for x. All righty. Solve for your variable, folks. Check your answers with each other. Can you start eavesdropping? See if you guys are going the same direction. So I have 31 equals 41 plus x over 2. Pop that over 1. Cross multiply. All right. Last one. Right down here. It says in the rhombus below, trace the diagonal. So everyone just physically trace the two diagonals, please. What kind of angle's in the middle, folks? Right. That's very important. I got a right angle there. Okay. Now let's write our rhombus equation, which area equals one diagonal times the other diagonal over 2. Okay. Let's physically trace it. Let's, on me, trace the blue like this. Physically trace it. Out loud, what's our first diagonal? No. So you have to physically trace it. It's not 10. Okay, so our first diagonal is 20. I'd like you to trace that second diagonal. Question, do you have it? No. Let's look at what we do have, though, folks. Yeah, we have an X. Bring your 26 over here. What kind of triangle do we have going on here? Have two sides, need third side. Okay, yes, you may use a calculator. Start solving for x. Leg squared plus leg squared equals hypo squared. Solve. Once you solve for that, find the area of the I'll give you guys a minute. I'll check it when you're done. How about that? Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Only over only when you have the complete area closed. Complete area. Yours is correct. Call me over only have the yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Could you trace your 24? You have a half an hour all the way through page 6. You have a half an hour to finish all the way through page 6. Okay? Last 15 minutes of class, we're doing something